Hello everybody. Yes, I'm posting another video today. Can you believe it? But yeah, anyway, we're gonna do another NFL video today because I have nothing else to do since I'm locked away in my room with COVID. So let's get this underway. We're gonna do my predictions for every team's defensive rookie of the year. So let's start off here with the New York Giants. I would say Kayvon, but I think he's going to be out for a couple weeks, so we'll put Azeez Ojulari instead. I think that Ojulari could be probably the biggest chance of a breakout star that New York has this year. Let's go next with the Raiders. I'm going to go with Chandler Jones. They picked him up in free agency, so he will make a great duo with Max Crosby. Next up, we have my Panthers. I'm going to go with J.C. Horn here. I think that this will be a breakout year for J.C. Horn, and yeah, I'm excited to see what he can do. Next up, we have the Detroit Lions. Aiden Hutchinson here. I think this is pretty obvious. I know he's a rookie, but he's just provided so much better than the Lions defense could have in like the past 5 years. So yeah, anyway, next one. We're going to go with the Chargers here. I'm going to go with not Mac or Bosa, but I'm going to go with J.C. Jackson instead. I think that Jackson is honestly a dark horse pick for Defensive Player of the Year. It might just be me that has that much faith in J.C. Jackson, but yeah, that's my prediction. Next we have the Browns, Myles Garrett. It's not even a competition here. I mean, maybe Denzel Ward, but Myles Garrett's more proven. Next up, we have the Vikings. This is a hard one. I think I'll go with Za'Darius Smith here. Even though there's some other guys that they have there, I'm going to go with Za'Darius Smith. Next up, we have the Steelers, T.J. Watt. It's not even a competition there. Defending Defensive Player of the Year for the entire league. And he's only getting better. Yeah, he had a slight knee injury today, but I think he should be ready for Week 1. Next up, we have the Falcons, A.J. Terrell. That's pretty much the only guy on their defense that can do anything, so yeah, next one. Next up, we have the Bucks. This is a tough one because the Bucks honestly have one of the best defenses in the league. But I'll go with Vita Vea here just because I've seen a lot of his highlights, and he's probably one of the most talented players on that Bucks team entirely, besides Tom Brady, obviously. Next up, we have the Bengals. I don't know about Jesse Bates' contract situation, but I'm just going to assume he stays in Cincinnati, so I'll go with Jesse Bates here. The Bears, same thing about Jesse Bates, but with Roquan Smith. I think I'll go with Roquan Smith here now that Khalil Mack is gone. The Cowboys, Micah Parsons, that's not too hard. He probably could be one of the best linebackers ever if he stays healthy for his entire career. The Rams, this one's easy. Aaron Donald probably could be Defensive Player of the Year. In my opinion, I feel like it's either going to be him or Jackson that ends up winning Defensive Player of the Year. Next up, we have the Patriots. I think I'll go with Matt Judon here. That's the safest pick. Even though they did pick up Julius Peppers in free agency. And he's not too bad of a corner. No, I'm sorry. Next up, we have the Bills, Von Miller. I mean, yeah, they have other players like Jordan Poyer and Tre'Davious White, but Von Miller, he's already going to Canton. And he's going to do wonders for that Bills defense. I can feel it. The Broncos, this one could be hard, but I think I'll go with Patrick Surtain. Probably one of the best defensive rookies in the entire league last year. He's only going to go up from here. Next up, we have the New Orleans Saints. It's another hard one. I think I'll go with Cameron Jordan here. That just seems like the safest pick once again. I know he's like aging, but still, it's hard to pick from one of the best defenses in the league. Next up, we have the Commanders. Uh, I'm not gonna go with Chase Young here. I think I'm gonna go with Montez Sweat instead, just because Chase Young's injury prone, and I don't really know if I feel confident in Chase Young not getting injured. So I'll go with him. The Chiefs. This is a hard one because the Chiefs' defense is terrible. But I'll go with the rookie Trent McDuffie. I think that Trent McDuffie could honestly be Defensive Rookie of the Year. I don't think he's going to be because this is a very defense-heavy draft class. But he could certainly prove himself as one of the best defensive rookies in the league. Next up, we have the Colts' Darius Leonard. I mean, it's either going to be him or DeForest Buckner or maybe Stephon Gilmore, but I think Leonard's the safest pick here. The Titans, not a lot of ways we can go with this pick, but I'm going to go with Jeffrey Simmons. I think he kind of broke out last year. I think that he's going to keep going on the uprising this year. I don't know what on the uprising. Keep going on the uprising is. Whatever. Next up we have the Ravens, another great defense, but their secondary especially, so I'll go with one of their corners in Marlon Humphrey. Yeah, he was injured for a lot of the season last year, but so was like the entire Ravens team, so you could say that about pretty much any of their players on defense. Next up we have the Texans. Another hard one to pick here. I guess I'll go with Derek Stingley Jr. because honestly I don't know who else is on that defense besides Roy Lopez. And I don't think he's good enough to be like their best defensive player, so I'll go with Stingley here just because of the upside. Next up we have the Cardinals. They lost Chandler Jones. I don't know. Like, I don't want to go with J.J. Watt here, but I feel like that's the best possible option. Even though Watt is pretty washed now, and I already chose his brother earlier, but I think I got to go with him. I'm going with J.J. Watt here. Just because the rest of their defense is trash. Yeah, I said it. The Cardinals probably have the worst defense in the league. Anyway, next up we have the Eagles. I'll go with Darius Slay here. I think that's a safe pick, even though they got a lot of corners. Like they got James Bradbury as well, and they also have Jordan Davis over there, and Fletcher Cox, and Nakobe Dean. And I'm pretty sure there's some other guys that I'm just leaving out because I don't know. The Eagles' defense is probably the most underrated in the league. Next up, we have the 49ers. Nick Bosa. This one was easy. Like, honestly, I don't know who could go against him for that spot. So, yeah. Anyway, next one. We'll have the Dolphins. I'm going to go with sophomore Jalen Phillips for this one. I think that he has a huge breakout season in 2022 and gets double-digit sacks. Yeah, I said it. I know he's a sophomore, but still. Next up, we have the Jets. They had the worst defense last year, but they improved in the draft at least. So I'll go with one of their draft guys, Sauce Gardner. Even though I still think that Kyle Hamilton is better than both him and Stingley, I think Sauce could turn this defense around. Maybe not by himself, but he'll help. Next up, we have the Jaguars. This one's easy. Josh Allen. Like, he's one of the most underrated edge rushers in the entire league, and I'm honestly sad that he's spending his pretty amazing career with the Jaguars of all teams, but he'll probably get traded to the Rams anyway. Whatever. Next up, we have the Seahawks. They don't have Bobby Wagner anymore. This is a tough one. Who do they even have over there? I'm literally trying to think of somebody they have, because like Bobby Wagner's the only thing that comes to mind, and he doesn't even play for them anymore. So you know what? I'm just gonna go with some random rookie that I praised for a while, and Tariq Woolen. That's literally the only guy I could come up with. Oh, you know what? Scrap that. I'll go with Shelby Harris instead. I completely forgot he was on the Seahawks now. And Shelby Harris, yeah, he could definitely help the Seahawks. He'll probably be one of the only bright spots on that team, to be honest. And last but not least, we have the Green Bay Packers. I'm going to go with Jair Alexander for this one. One of the best corners in the league. And honestly, a lot of the best corners in the league are overshadowed by other defensive players on their own team, like Jalen Ramsey with Aaron Donald. So yeah, that is going to be it for this video. I hope you all enjoyed it, and yeah, I'll see you next time.